I know you can do it. I have faith in you. Okay. One, just take your seat and I will call the docket in a moment. And Denny, as soon as I have that information, I'll get it to you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. And Bashan, just let me know when you have that.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Happy rainy Monday. Good thing about the rain, grass and plants are going to grow. You don't have to water and because the water is coming from the heavens. All right, I'm going to call the docket. Please let me know that you are here. Please stand when your name is called. If I don't know that you are here, what will end up happening is a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Jose Mercado is in custody, and Mr. Callahan, we're going to get a date on that for you. Marcos Patino, thank you. And custody is Jonathan Trevino and Montoya Callahan. Charles Jones, Daniel Van Duzer, Manuel Rodriguez. Thank you. And custody is Jose Gonzalez.
I'm present for him, Judge. Marcus confirming, please.
All right, thank you. Raymond Zamora. And custody is Arturo Rivera. Marcos Ortiz. Cameron Sell. And custody is John Dominguez, Robert Bell, Justin Cotton, Sergio Olvera. Ocil Griffin is in custody. Joseph Harris. Troy Lee. Gerardo Flores. Jeremy Garcia. Leonardo Rosales. And custody is Cesar Huerta. Christopher Rodriguez.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Reyna. Again, Cameron Sell. Jacob Garcia. And custody is Gregory. Somebody help me out with the last name. Ulloa. Are you Oa? Justin Shermanhorn. And custody is Donnell Ward. Arnold Lavea.
He's present, Judge.
Thank you. And custody is Uriah Huffman. Curtis Williams. Thank you. And custody is Victor Espinoza, Edward Ugarte, Mariah Rodriguez. Mariah Rodriguez. And custody is Jesus Martinez Cantu.
Judge, will confirm.
Thank you. I believe I've called, I've not, Leonardo Rosales. In custody is Joseph Berry, Joe Lopez, Donald Davis, James Hasso, Robert Overides, Shirley Martinez, Joseph Acevedo, Eleanor Ozola, Caroline Cantu.
Yes, Judge, I'm present.
All right, thank you. Patricia Perez is in custody. Tyrone Shepherd, custody. Rogelio Sanchez, custody. Joseph Berry, custody. Vanessa Bass. In custody is Keno Jimenez and Laura Botello. All right, is there anyone who's present who came in late or your name was not called? All right, we'll start here. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, what? Daniel. Oh, you were late. All right, have a seat on the first row. Okay. Sir?
You need his case number, Judge?
No.
Okay.
And anyone over here? Yes. Okay. All right, for those who are, this is not the correct impact court list. No, it's not. All right, I'll get to it later. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Number one, we're starting up a jury trial at 10:30. That means we're starting exactly at 10:30, which means if you do not take care of your case or have not conferred, or anyone who's late who's not here, your case is going to be moved to a different day, and it may be inconvenient for you, but there are consequences. All right, so I try to keep the well of the court as least congested as possible. So grab your file, give it to the state, confer with them. Make sure you confer with your client. Do not approach unless you've conferred with the state and conferred with your client. If the state can give you an offer, you need to have presented that offer to your attorney. Once you finish conferring and you're ready to approach, just approach the clerk, have them pull your file, have a seat. I will call you in the order of appearance. For people who have clients who are in custody, just let the deputy know and the deputy will bring your client out. Everyone, it's Monday, it's raining outside, but it's still a beautiful day because you don't have to water your grass, don't have to water your plants. So everyone put some patience in your pocket. Let's have a great Monday. Please confer. Just one moment. All right, so the people who are going to impact court, and I know it was at first it was going to be family violence, but family violence is in jury trial. So these are the cases that are going to impact court. Robert Reyna, Mr. Navy, that's your client. Raymond Zamora, Sergio Alvera, Gerardo Flores, and Cesar Huerta. Those are the cases that will be going to impact court. If you are in here, if there are any persons who are accused who heard your name called out and you need to know the location of impact court, just approach and we will give you that information. All right, everyone, confer. And Bashan? All right, thank you. Mr. Callahan?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have somewhere else you need to be, we can email you the new date, but I'd like to get the same date that's conducive to you. I'm sorry? All right, we'll give you a call, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Cantu, your screen is backwards. So if you can rotate that. And your client has not been brought out. Yes, we will need to have a hearing. No, we need to set a bond. You're requesting a bond, correct? Yes, you'll need a prosecutor. Yes. All right, thank you. You're welcome. All right, I need to call on Carolyn Cantu. All right, Ms. Cantu, what do you do for Bear Care Home Medical?
No, ma'am, I am currently not employed with them.
Okay, they have that as the last list of your employment. So where are you working?
I'm not working. I'm actually a full-time student at San Antonio College.
And when did that happen?
That happened in August, and I already gave my officer the paperwork.
All right, so here's the issue. The issue is that we don't have any tests for you. You're on probation for a DWI, and it was reduced to a misdemeanor, but I don't have testing for you. So how are you testing?
I was testing with the Intoxilog. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, they said that there was an ignition interlock on a vehicle. Then there was a field visit done at your home, and there were several other vehicles there. There were 1, 2, 3, 4 other vehicles that you informed probation. Those were the mother-in-law's vehicles, and there was for some business. And that's why ignition interlock were not in those vehicles. But then you were driving a Trailblazer with ignition interlock, and that also belonged to your mother-in-law. So
Correct.
how are you getting around?
She usually gives me a ride, or family members, or my boyfriend, of course. I was using the Blazer, and last time I was here in court, I did inform y'all that the Blazer is currently not working. The engine is done for. So the Intoxilock is still installed in that vehicle. The vehicle is just not working. So I was trying to remove the Intoxilock from the vehicle.
Probation?
And of course, I'm sorry. And of course, I've just been doing my UAs.
All right, Mr. Pelt, your client is going to be an impact court. It's Raymond Zamora. Okay. I know you're in both locations. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and we'll take up that other matter in just a moment. Probation? What other device can we place Ms. Cantu on? Because right now she has an ignition interlock, but of course that's not being used. All right, so what we'll do, Ms. Cantu, because you have to be tested. So we're going to place you on the portable and remove the ignition interlock, but you're going to have to do an affidavit of non-driving. Do you understand?
I already filled out that form as well.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you need, Ms. Cantu, to be successful?
No, ma'am, just the device.
All right. So how are you supporting yourself since you're not working? I know you say you're in school, but how are you financially supporting yourself?
As soon as I recover, I just had my son. As soon as I recover, I will be going back to work part-time.
All right. And how many hours are you taking at school?
I take 12, no, I take 10 hours.
All right. So probation, if she provides proof that she's taking 10 hours semester at school with no dropping of classes, no doing a withdrawal with the W, then the remaining of her community service hours can be waived.
Great. I provided that as well to my officer.
Mhm.
So hopefully she can turn that into you.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. All right. All right, good luck to you. Probation will get in contact with you to give you your new conditions. Is there anything else you need?
No, do I log off as well?
Yes, you can log off.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, you too. Who's here on Troy Lee?
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, come forward. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Let me see which page you are on. I appreciate that. And you are, I will tell you this, you are dressed appropriately for court. I appreciate that. All right. Brenda, do you see what page Mr. Lee is on? All right, thank you. And you know what? I passed right over page 11. All right, so the next thing we need to work on, Mr. Lee, we're doing one thing at a time. You need to make sure you're on time. I'm giving people sort of a little leeway because of the rain and because of the line, okay? All right, so where are we on this case? Okay, Ms. Ferguson, do we need any more dates for Mr. Lee?
Yes, I think we set it to future.
Okay, what date?
I can do November 15th.
All right, so we'll be back here on November 15th, but if he's fully accepted, just let Ms. Ferguson know beforehand and we may not need that date. All right. You need to get a reset form and then yes, you can be excused. Thank you. Good seeing you. All right, who's here on Jose? Oh, any update on Jose Mercado?
I'm almost there.
Okay, all right, thank you. Brenda, the Boss's Day flowers are beautiful. But I'm disappointed that you guys don't trust me with orchids anymore. No, it's, yeah, but it's beautiful. Oh, and Brenna, I've just been informed that somebody brought me tamales. Thank you, Norma. Brennan, I think the fact that I've been here since 1997, and the first time I had a tamale was, I think 2020. Was it 2020? I think it's been from the fear, because you see a tamale, it's like, how do you eat this? You know, do you eat the wrap? Oh, hey, nobody, Norma? Nobody better grab mine.
Okay.
Tell them leave it. Leave the bean machines alone. Yes. Oh, just two. Yeah. All right. Brenna, is it me or is it extremely hot in here? Yes. Maybe we can get some air circulation.
Good morning. I'm waiting for the prosecutor to come back. Okay. Yeah, she'll call me up there. Yeah. That's probably on the. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This will be set. So we're just gonna go to. Oh, we're gonna do. What's up, John? Oh, yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
And I think we told him we were gonna re-indict it.
Yes. Mhm. Oh. No, so is he still, so he's being interviewed today, right? Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just get a new date and then he can have the Tacoma done on November 10th, but I want to make sure that this is done. Yeah. Norma, on Jose Mercado, can we recall this sometime? Are we able to recall this tomorrow? All right, and let Denny Callahan know. All right, you're welcome. Yes.
I mean, Are you ready?
Who's here? I'm Jesus Martinez Cantu.
I'm here.
All right, Mr. Cantu. Good morning. All right, yeah, Lucy, even though the air is good, you probably need to close it. Yes. All right. So I see we have an interpreter here. And Brendan, this is not on the record. All right, so where are we on this case?
Yeah, this is my first setting and I confer with Michael. I think there's a lot of discovery. There's still looking at what state license.
Okay.
I can switch it for recording.
Yes.
So if we do not have a copy of the child state interview, we do not have CPS records.
All right, could everyone please whisper?
There's a cell phone extraction of the complainant phone, and I don't have a copy of that. I just need to request to see if there's any other one more. All of this will be.
Okay. Then I don't like to make assumptions, but Mr. Maury, is your client a citizen?
No, you're.
So do you need an immigration attorney appointed for him?
I'm retained, Judge, but if you want to appoint one, that'd be fine.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, we need an immigration attorney for Mr. Martinez. And I know it takes a while for the cell phone extraction to take place.
I don't know if it's already completed, Judge, because this was it based on the report, they had already started that. And so I'm under the assumption that it's complete. I just don't have a copy of it. And so I just need to request to the detective that information.
Okay, so what I'll do on this case, I'm going to give you all a 45-day reset, which I normally don't do. Mr. Maurer, if for any reason you have the information beforehand and you want to come back sooner, just let the coordinator know and we can give you an earlier date. All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date? And it's a discovery setting. All right, so we're going to come back on December 5th. And Ms. Ferguson, who is going to be his immigration attorney? Also. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in just so your client can know who it is and put a name to a face. And Ms. Ferguson will give you her contact information as well. All right, is there anything else that's needed?
No, Judge.
Okay. So she should zoom in. She's pretty quick about zooming in, so she should probably be here in like about 10 minutes. All right.
I need to go to reset. So I need to be here for that or?
Just, yes, just a moment so she can know who you are. Brenda, do you see what page Mr. Martinez Cantu is on?
Page 14.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Martinez Cantu, your immigration attorney is going to be Teresa Coz Davila. She will Zoom in shortly so that she can get your information and Mr. Maurer so that she can get in contact with you and know who you are and whatever you need to discuss with her about this case. And Mr. Martinez, I want to be clear. She is not your immigration attorney for your entire immigration matters. She is just your immigration attorney as it relates to this criminal case and any decisions you make with your attorney on whether or not to go to trial or enter a plea. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you'll just have a seat, she will Zoom in shortly. And Mr. Maurer, she does speak Spanish, so.
May the interpreter be excused?
Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you. Hello. Thank you very much.
Of course.
You've dated everything.
did, I
It's a
did.
beautiful Monday.
Yes, it's a good Monday. Off to a good start.
Okay, well, just if, bar number. Norma, if you give the information to Mr. Maurer and her phone number. Okay, sure. All right, can you give this to Laura? You're welcome. Arturo Vara.
Good morning, Judge, Group President.
Good morning, Mr. Vara, if you can come forward. Also, so what I'm sorry, if you could slide over a little bit. So what we're here for today is the state was supposed to make sure you have your discovery. And the state was to have made an offer. State, are you able to make an offer today?
Make an offer, Judge. I think we're getting there on discovery. We're still, this is an older case, so we're still working on getting an offer to him. I think I can make an offer at the next setting, Judge, but he did have some motions he wanted to bring up. So that I think some of them, he wanted to write it down, and some of them we're going to start working on, seeing if we can come to an agreement on non-evidentiary discovery motion.
Okay, what motion, Counselor?
Yes, Your Honor, it is a motion to modify pre-trial release condition that was filed back on September 22nd. I prefer what to say about it. And I wanted to approach the court, see if it would modify my client. He's currently on house arrest, Judge, and had a monitor.
Okay, so we'll go on the record. Just give me 1 second. If you all can make sure that you're not talking in the box, especially behind the court reporter. And Ms. Ferguson, did you get that information of Mr. Maurer? Robert Maurer? I think he may have stepped out. All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 12034, State of Texas versus Arturo Vara. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state.
Defense?
Alfonso Cabañas from Mr. Vara.
All right, so Mr. Cabanas, you filed a motion to modify pretrial release conditions. State, did you have a chance to review that?
We did, Judge.
All right, State, are you in agreement or no?
Judge, we're not in agreement. I think we're going to defer to the court on that. The only concern the state would have is just he's only been on bond for a short period of time. However, Mr. Cabañas did provide the hours he would be working. So we're going to defer to the court's judgment on the motion.
All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor, and part of the reason for this motion to modify has to do with the discovery compliance reason we're here this morning. So for purposes of the record, the last time we were here, I confirmed with Mr. Brummer, this is an older murder case. There is a statement or a current statement by an alleged witness to this offense who the state's investigator was going to provide for me. Because of that, Judge, and because, again, it's a very old case, my client, Mr. White, has been on full house arrest, UPS conditions. He provided me the name of his employer, the hours and the times he will be employed. And all we're asking is for the court to modify the conditions. He's okay with having a curfew or another condition the court may impose, but he would like his opportunity to work while this case is waiting resolved. I don't believe, Judge, that this is gonna be a case that's gonna be led, it's gonna end up being a trial. And so while that happens, Mr. Vada has asked me to submit the motions, so the court can give him a little bit of leeway. Then the court cannot be in the trial.
So this is an old case, but it's been recently indicted?
I believe so, is that right?
Kind of, Judge. I believe Mr. Vada was in custody in another state on another murder charge that he was sentenced to prison on. And I think he'd been in custody for a long period of time. And so this case, I believe, was indicted in 2012. And I believe he was released from jail sometime earlier this year.
Okay, so of course, I don't have any information. But are you saying that he was in prison for murder and now he has this murder case pending?
That's correct.
All right. The court doesn't have any documentation on Mr. Barr, so this is what I'm going to order. I'm going to order that he be interviewed. Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to need him interviewed for just do an evaluation for a PR bond, even though he's already on bond, because I need information about his criminal history. I don't have any of that. And hopefully they will do it and not say, oh, he's out of custody, so we're not going to do a PR bond. But I need some kind of background on Mr. Vera because I don't have anything. Yes, the criminal history. So I need his out-of-state, in-state criminal history before I make a judgment on his changing his bond conditions. But I would also need from you, counselor, if you can get some sort of notarized letter from his employer, if the state is not going to object to it being admitted that way as hearsay, if you can get a notarized statement from his employer saying what his work description is and what will his hours be. So if I can have that at the next setting, and usually the evaluation from pretrial services doesn't take that long, but let me get that before I make a ruling on this, because I don't have enough information to do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
And were there other motions?
They are, Judge. I'm gonna confer with the state to see if we can agree on those, and then whatever we don't, we'll just take them up at the next court time.
Okay, Ms. Ferguson, so when would we be able to call this back?
Commission should be done in about 1 or 2 days.
Okay,
So I can do it Thursday.
all right, are both parties available for Thursday? And Mr. Cabanas, will you be able to have that information for me from his employer by Thursday?
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, so we'll be back on Thursday and you all can continue to confer on the other motions and we will put all those motions on the record on Thursday.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll be back on October 20th at 9 a.m. Yes, I think he is. Is he? Bar? Oh, no, it wasn't on the
It
docket.
wasn't, okay, it's
Yeah.
BARA.
Yes. All right, Norma, we need an interpreter for Patina. All right, so if you all can get an interpreter. Curtis Williams. Who's the attorney for Curtis Williams? All right, thank you. All right, okay. Okay. All right, and is that happening today?
I think it's happening right now. The Brittany went down to Grand Prix.
All right, and is it going to be the same
The
charge?
same charge. It was an error in the way that this case was indicted, so it should be the exact same charge and facts, and then this case will be dismissed.
Okay, all right, and where are we on discovery?
I I think this is Mrs. McClellan's first setting. I believe all the discovery is there. Last time it was Mr. Barrett. And I think that, I don't think we had any discovery issues last time, but I know this is her first setting on the case. So I guess she's reviewing that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Curtis Williams, please?
We can make her an offer in the interim before that setting.
Okay. All right, so we'll be back on November 14th. And Ms. McClellan, if you want us to hear that sooner, just let the court know and we'll put it on the docket sooner than that. All right, and what happened to you, Mr. Williams?
That's right.
Oh, well, I hope you're doing better. And following doctor's orders. All right, good luck to you. They're going to give you a reset form, Mr. Williams. Which page, Brenna?
Oh, sorry, Judge. I'm reading.
Oh, I found it,
Okay.
which is shocking that I found that. And this is going to be dismissed, but keep it with the new case. All right, who is here on Kino Jimenez? All right, where is Kino Jimenez?
He's over here in the trade.
All right, come forward. What is happening with this case?
Judge, may I just get a onset at this point? He's on deferred, it's NCR, it's a new number one, so there's a new UWI.
Have you conferred with the state about this?
We've conferred a couple of months ago, maybe.
All right, you want to speak to the state and see where we are in this?
Yeah, I can talk.
All right, thank you. So confer with the state. Leonardo Rosales. Good morning. So we were here previously for discovery. So where are we on discovery?
Judge, I think we're okay on discovery this time, but I just have another pending case. Once you're. Think that, you know, what happened in that other case.
Excuse me.
Is that the indecency case? Who's the attorney on that?
He's out of Boston. James, Santos.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you see where his Austin attorney is?
And also, I asked if she could text me, so we don't talk to them today.
Okay,
If I could please go to some other forms,
yes.
and come back. I will be asking for a reset.
They're not ready.
So can we go ahead and get a reset date on it?
No, because I need to speak with that Austin attorney
Okay.
and make sure they're here.
Okay, thank you. Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, it's going to be a Marcos Patina Cabrera. Yes, it's a 2022 CR 3038. All right, who's here on Marcos Cabrera?
Here you are.
Thank you. And where is your client? Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2020. Could everyone please whisper in the box? No talking behind the court reporter when we're on docket. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3038, State of Texas versus Marcos Patino Cabrera. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Lilly up for the state.
And are you Mr. Cabrera?
That's correct.
All right. The court will note that there is an interpreter present. If I could have the interpreter, if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm do you solemnly swear affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, could you state your name for the record, please?
Flavia Valle, license 314.
All right, we are here today for sentencing. You entered a plea of no contest to count 1 to aggravated sexual assault of a child, and there is no application. Are both parties ready to proceed, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, The defendant's punishment is to be assessed at 14 years in the prison. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
That, my client wants to take responsibility, for everything,
I'm sorry, the interpreter come here?
hence the reason why he wants to accept this offer.
All right, anything from the state?
Nothing further, Judge. It's just, there is a victim impact statement that the victim father would like me to read after sentencing.
Okay. All right, then the court will follow your plea bargain agreement. As previously stated, the court found you guilty. The court will sentence you to 14 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. There's to be no contact with the complainants. And state if you can make sure that those names are given to the clerk so that can be given to parole.
Yes, Judge.
There's chapter 62 registration, and that is a lifetime registration. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing, state,
No, Judge.
defense? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Correct.
All right, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Patino, good luck to you. Is there any victim impact?
Yeah, Judge, it should be a quick fix.
All right, Mr. Patino, they're going to read to you a statement. It's a victim impact statement. Just listen to it, internalize it. All right, state.
The actions of Mr. Patino have greatly affected the lives of my beloved family, but specifically my two very young girls. Since he committed this crime, my girls, my wife, and myself have had trouble to sleep at night. I am constantly afraid that someone will harm them again. I am no longer able to trust people like I did before. My children are also afraid. It has been very hard for them to even go out in the yard to play because they fear that Mr. Patino or someone will try to hurt them. I'm a family man and I am always striving to be a support for my community and especially to my family. God has been very good to me and I have been able to build together with my wife at home the place that we consider sacred and a safe zone for my children. It is with great sadness that the crime Mr. Patino and whom we used to trust were committed in our own home. My wife and I have been dealing with a great deal of guilt because we feel that we failed our girls. And I'm not sure if we will be able to ever forgive ourselves for letting a person with so low integrity into our lives and home. We were very kind and always provided support to Mr. Patino and helped him become what we mistakenly thought a better member of the community. However, now that I feel disrespected, angry, sad, but mostly I have lost, in a sense, my capacity to trust people, and I cope with that every day. Not to mention that my children are the ones who were hurt the most, and all of his actions were done under my nose. This really hurts. My entire family have been going through therapy, and I am not going to lie. It has helped, but knowing that there is a rule of law and that the court system works makes us feel better too. We pray that one day we can forgive Mr. Patino. I will try hard. With great sadness, my wife and I made the hard decisions to leave our home where my children have lived all their life in order to continue their and our healing process. It was hard for all of us to leave behind our homes, our friends, our beloved community, and this is because of Mr. Patino's wrongdoing. I sincerely wish that he can seek help and heal himself. I wish that he can find peace with himself and get the opportunity to correct his path in life. I am thankful that he is going to prison, and the main reason is not because I feel that he could harm my children again. I will never allow that to happen, because I fear he'll do this to other children. I hope deep in my heart that this hasn't happened, but I will now sleep quiet knowing that at least for a period of time, he won't be able to do so. People should not be able to commit crimes like this and get away with it. It has been very hard to write the statement without utilizing foul language, shedding tears, or feeling angry. However, in the long run, I keep telling myself that someday we will be okay. Last but not least, I want to say that my family and I are thankful to the police, child safe, the courts, and the state prosecutors for being so empathetic with us. I pray for all your well-being, and I'm grateful that Mr. Patino is being held accountable for his actions.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Maybe.
Yes, thank you so much. Who's here on Eleanor Arazola? Eleanor Arazola. Hello. Who's the attorney for Eleanor Arazola? Compliance? Ah, hello. Hi.
Martinez.
All right, so we have an issue with you.
I'm sorry.
We have an issue with you. What do you think that issue is?
Well, that I have to.
Yes, why do you keep using?
Well, you see, since I've used, okay, I have, complied with everything. I joined the ECP board and which is it's been very helpful and very motivating. I have been coming out ever since, and I have joined outpatient treatment, parenting classes, and I've been having my drug tests 4 times a week. And so that's been helping me a lot with staying away from the drugs. And I also got a job too, so, and that's 12-hour shifts. So it's been helping me a lot, and it's been keeping me busy and distracted, and I've been complying with everything ever since this, which at the time I really was I think I was just depressed, and I know it's not an excuse. But like I said, ever since this has happened, and it's sad that it took so much. It's sad that it took this to happen in order for me to start getting my life on track. But I feel like I do feel like I'm in a better place now.
All right, because here's the thing. Your probation has been extended for you to get your life in order.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not on the record because this is us having a conversation, because the next step is going to be a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the range of punishment for your offense is up to 20 years. So that means that if you're revoked, that you could potentially end up going to prison for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? So we're having this conversation. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
They're gonna be clean.
All right. When's the last time you used?
I have in August. Yeah, I think it was in
But you have a failure to submit. You have a failure to submit in September. September
remember.
19th, 2022, you didn't submit.
Oh, I don't remember that. But I know as far as I'm concerned, I've been complying with and going with everything. And also let me point out, with the UAs, that I'm supposed to be calling the UA line every day and testing bi-weekly for for the last 4 weeks, I've been on the UA. It hasn't even asked me to come in to submit, but I have came in anyway to make sure that I get that, UA submitted, so that way I didn't have any.
All right, probation. I'm gonna want a UA today from Arizola. And can you make sure that for the UA hotline, she needs to at least be testing weekly at some time during that time when she calls in. So she's calling the UA hotline every day. So she needs to be testing at least once a week. And tell them to continue to monitor. And I'm going to want field visits for her at least once a week. And are you still doing outpatient treatment with Victoria Spicer or no?
No, ma'am. My probation officer just enrolled me with the outpatient that they have down on 207 Canal.
And are you still residing with your mom?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to want field visits once per month. I'm going to want a UA today. And I want the UA hotline continued. And she's to call daily. And there needs to be a UA at least once per week. And we're going to do that for 2 months and see where we are with the once per week. And then if there are no positives, then we can taper it off to maybe once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then we'll do that for a length of time. And then we will go forward maybe once every 3 weeks for a UA. But I know that she expires, I think, in 2023.
Yes, Your Honor.
So whether or not you expire in 2023 is completely up to you. If I end up getting positive UAs from you, we'll see. Either you could end up going to prison for up to 20 years, or either your probation could be extended. So you want to be off probation, you got to do better. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
Is there anything else?
Your Honor, I did look up in the system. The last 3 UAs have come up negative.
Okay.
There is a pending result for the 12th, so we're just waiting on results for that one. Do you want the UA in court, or do you want her to be sent?
Well, she's here. We can do it here.
Okay. And then one of the issues on the well, not an issue, but with the on the supplemental report, what the officer was requesting is for you to look at the terms of her GPS device.
Mhm.
I believe she had it the amount of time that was end dated, and they were asking for removal, but you wanted to talk to her first.
Yes. So what we're going to do is I will consider removal of your GPS device in 1 month. If there are no violations on the GPS, if there's no violations with you taking your UAs, and if the UAs are negative, then I will remove the device in 1 month.
Yes, ma'am.
So whether or not that device gets removed is going to be completely up to you and your actions. You understand? Okay. All right. Good luck to you. I'm glad you are getting help.
Thank you.
All right. Who's here? And Joseph Berry?
I'm present this morning.
All right, Mr. Berry. And where are we on this case?
Judge, I was further to say, we've got the possession case that is set today. We also have the burglary building.
Mhm.
I say wants to talk to the victim and see if there's something that went out west for a 2-week reset on that. To see if it's trying to get that.
All right. And is that burglary of the building? Is that indicted or no?
I don't believe it is. I think it's waiting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset on Joseph Berry, please?
You can come back November 3rd.
All right, we'll be back.
That will be at a judicial conference. But
Okay.
I'll help out in Dallas on the 3rd.
Okay. That's okay.
Is there a way we can do?
Are you able to do, Norma, are we able to do it at the end of this month? Is that enough time for everybody? Or no? All right. Okay, so they're saying at the end of the month is a good time.
That would work, Judge. I could do the 31st or 28th.
All right, so we'll see you back on Halloween. All right. All right, who's here on Robert Bell? And everyone, we're bringing the jury in exactly at 10:30. So if you have someone who's out here in the box, y'all need to get on it. Otherwise, it's going to be reset for a different day. Robert Bell, what's happening with this case?
Your Honor, we're gonna go to jury trial. There's been an offer tendered and rejected. And my client wants to stay in court.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Mr. Bell? All right, how long do you think your case will take? Just approximate.
Maybe 3 days.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date for Mr. Bell, and I need a acknowledgement of discovery before you all leave. Is that doable?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's another case that will be indicted soon.
That case, the complainant in that case, I expect to testify in this case under 3837.
All right, so when is that going to be done?
I need to check with Marissa, but I've reviewed the case and it's gonna be.
All right, so instead of a jury trial date, Ms. Ferguson, recall this back in 30 days and we'll see where we are in that case. Okay, and I'm not going to, I'll keep the plea deadline date open until that case is indicted so your client can consider both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so we'll be back on November 17th. All right, Mr. Bell, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you'll still, if you choose to enter a plea, I'm going to keep the plea deadline date open in case things change, so you can make an informed decision, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. Jimenez. Kino Jimenez.
We got an agreement on
Okay. All right. Court is calling 2018 CR 9168 State of Texas versus Kino Jimenez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Groomer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Right, McElroy for Keno 2 minutes.
All right, we are here. Defense is requesting that a bond be set. The court is in receipt of the pretrial services interview report. Have both parties had a chance to review that report?
We have, or I have not actually, Judge. I can look at it real quickly. though.
Yes.
Same question that I also.
I think we kind of understand generally what's criminal history.
All right, and what I can tell both parties that in that report, it doesn't show any criminal history other than, of course, this case and the new number 1, which is a DWI.
I think he has minimal other stuff, Judge. He does
Yes.
have one, it's a DWI second, so I think he does have one prior DWI.
Yes.
And I think that's the only conviction.
All right, so have you all reached an agreement with regards to bond?
I think we have to.
And what is that agreement?
We'd agree to a $10,000 bond on the MTR, as well as any conditions that the judge sees fit. The only one that maybe the state would suggest, just because of the nature of the new charge, would be some type of UA's monitoring. He does have scram as a result of his misdemeanor bond.
To the amount of, yeah, that's where we agreed upon. I would ask the judge to, your honor, to hold any ways in opinion, gonna have a scram monitor because of the section. That's already been one that's conditional upon. Other than that, he can actually be set to expire in November. Very, very close to this point. I just ask your honor. Follow our
All right, for the record, the court has reviewed the pretrial Services interview report. And based upon that, and based upon the agreement of the parties, the court finds that the request or the agreement for a $10,000 bond is appropriate in this case. The court will set your bond at 10,000. The court is going to require that you follow the SCRAM bond conditions that are in place in your DWI case. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a contested hearing date for this case, please? And counsel? All right, so we're going to come back on November 14th. What time? So it'll be November 14th at 11 a.m. You're going to need to make sure that you report to probation. And I'm going to require as a condition of your bond, weekly reporting to probation by Zoom or in person. And if you have, did you file a motion? Counsel?
Set the bond, yes, Your Honor.
All right, I need that motion.
Was that 11 o'clock?
Yes, that is at 11.
Copy of the motion.
Okay, if you can give that to me, please.
Thank you.
I got it.
I think we have the upper amount fee mark on
All right, no problem. All right, then we will see you and your client. You are excused.
it. Thank you. Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have a seat, man. Very. Well,
Vanessa Boss.
Present Judge.
Yes. Hi, do you have any contact with her?
No, Your Honor. The phone number that I have. Every time I call it, it'll ring 2 or 3 times and it goes to a busy signal. And I don't have any other way to contact her. I have sent a letter to the address that was provided to me, but I've never received a response.
All right, I'm going to issue a judge's warrant. I received notice from pretrial services that she's not following through. So I will do that, and I will note on here that you were present, your client was not.
On my other client, who's in impact court judge,
Mhm.
working out the logistics with the PTV.
Okay, thank you.
They're downstairs in impact.
All right, thank you. All right, this is a judge's warrant on Boss. Oh. If you can include that with that. Yes. Yeah, tell them that I will get with them as soon as I get with them. All right, thank you. Yes. All right, thank you. All right, and Deputy, can you check to see if all the jurors are here?
Day. It's a day.
All right, thank you. Yes. Well, tell them to get the plea paperwork done and we'll do it, because we're waiting for 6 jurors. Thanks.
So if I sign the 2 years and now I'm signing the count, but if I sign on the 2 years and now, it's not gonna count anything on the other 2. As long as you have- I'll sign on it right now. I'm asking for, you can go do 2 in total. You can go do 2 years total for both. I'm asking that. I'll sign on. See if you get out of that.
Sounds fast.
Jonathan Trevino? Yes, yes. Who is the other attorney? Norma, who's the other attorney on this? Okay. All right, so what is the other case? Oh, so what is happening with the other case? State? On this case, on Jonathan Trevino, what is happening with the nightmare case?
We'll just see, Judge. Sorry, I
Okay,
have to remember the facts. Because it's going to make-
okay, no problem. All right, because I'm assuming because this attorney tells me he's not on that nightmare case, you're not asking him to plead true to that nightmare case, are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, what's gonna happen with the other cases?
Well, are they dismissing the nightmare case? So see, how come
You solved my problem. Thank you.
we're in a conversations. All right, are y'all ready to proceed then? Are y'all ready to proceed on Trevino then?
Yes, it's an NPR.
Okay.
Yeah, she knows. I didn't talk about that. You know, you'll be able to call.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, no, no, no. So, it's not enough.
Yes.
Brenda. Yes. Please be here for Mr. Cox in his time of sadness. We did allow you all to come back into the game. All right. Good morning. So what are we doing on Arturo Rivera?
We're ready for a trial. We can have the court's docket. Mr. Rivera is one of the defendants currently incarcerated that has been in jail on today's docket.
Well, Mr. Rivera, we are currently in a jury trial. So as much as I would love to do 2 jury trials at once, the court reporter is telling me no to that. And it just can't be done because I'm already in a jury trial. The soonest day, because after this trial, we have a capital. I don't know if it's going to be available, but we'll try to set you on a day when we have impact. All right, just one moment. I need to, On Rivera, they're requesting a jury trial. Can you put it on a day when we have impact? When is our next impact? Criminal trial. Is the burglary of I'm sorry, the burglary of habitation with intent to commit assault, is that family violence or is that? Okay. All right. Except for the drug case, I'm assuming. All right, so we'll be back on October 31st. Yes, and on this case, make sure that before October 31st, you all have your yes, discovery acknowledgement. Thank you. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9360 State of Texas versus Jonathan Trevino. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state? For the defense? Are you Jonathan Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. All right, everyone in the box? Excuse me, quiet in the box. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Jonathan Edward Trevino who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 9360 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on April 19, 2022 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment. This,
Do you have an amended MTR, Judge?
I do have an amended MTR. And I'm sorry, you were not placed on aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's in the motion. But the state filed the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt, and that one has the correct offense. So are you the same Jonathan Edward Trevino who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 9360 for the offense of possession of a prohibited firearm short barrel on April 19, 2022 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Jonathan Edward Trevino did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May and August 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We'll waive the others.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, that's Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There's Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate, and deny the application for probation. We're asking that you sentence him to 2 years TDC. In agreement, we are going to TIC CM 101993.
That's your jury.
All right. Did you understand that to be the agreement, Mr. Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Why were you not reporting? Why didn't you do well on this probation?
Just a living situation was a little rough when I got out. Some unexpected things that happened when I was in jail. When I got out, things weren't the same. I had a bunch of issues like with my family at the house.
All right, how old are you?
23,
Do you have any children?
yes, my one daughter.
You know you're gonna have to start stepping up to the plate because your daughter is depending on you, you know? So what are your plans when you get out of prison?
Had trouble, get a good job, and start building a career.
All right, so you're gonna have to, and those are great things that you say you're gonna do, but you're gonna actually have to do them. Make plans for how you're gonna do that. Understand? Where are you going to be living when you get out of prison?
With my grandma.
Does your grandmother want you staying with her?
Yes, grandma.
All right, when you stay with your grandmother, remember, you're going to have to follow her rules because that's her house. And if you don't want to follow her rules, then you need to get your own place.
Yes, grandma.
All right, the court is going to follow your agreement, find you guilty, revoke you, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, taking consideration CM 101993, and there's to be no contact with Maria Gonzalez. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, grandma.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is the felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, grandma.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Trevino.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye. You're welcome. Mr. Cox, Mr. Cox. What happened? I mean, happy birthday and Merry Christmas to me because LSU won. Merry Christmas to John Koontz because LSU won. But what happened to Florida?
Hey, cool.
And you know, there were so many memes. People were saying, Florida don't tell us about the swamp because we're from the swamp. And then they played a song, you know, for the school. But I will tell you, I was watching it and we're up by 21 points. And then we started playing as though the game was over. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So what was your coach thinking when they went for it on 4th down? I mean, is there something, I mean, there was plenty of time left. Is there a reason a field goal wasn't kicked? Was Les Miles your coach? You think it was inside? John,
Yes, ma'am.
Cornelius is saying that the team that coaches Florida has Louisiana connection, so he's thinking it was a Trojan horse.
My alma mater is ranked for the first 40 years. Tulane, we're number 25.
Awesome.
Where's Florida?
Ooh, ah.
Are they somewhere?
Cool. What, you know. Hey, you know, I watched the game again last night.
You had to watch. If that something happened, but did you tape it also so that you could speak to the players?
They need some
Yeah.
Cornelius Cox motivation. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Richard Garcia is back from his trails. It's good to see you made it.
Midnight.
At midnight? And you still haven't seen the 1,000 candles of light. I'm doing the 1,000 candles of light. It has to be done. I'm going to look at the calendar. We should do it. You, me, and Laura. Make it happen. I was having lunch with a lady and she was saying, oh, I know about this. I've done it. I can't remember her name now, but it's going to come to me, her name. And but she says she always does it. And she's like, there are many.
Yeah, there are many.
I didn't know that.
The Guinness, I didn't know this until the Guinness and the beers
Mhm.
have St. James on the cover, on the logo. So the Irish, you know, start with the same thing. Gay in Dublin, They walk all the way to the edge of the coast. And you're thinking.
But I can't swim, so I can't be in a canoe. And are they doing their,
They catch up and they all drown.
what?
Yeah, there's a documentary on it.
Okay, look at that documentary. I thought we were just going to see a leprechaun or
So I'm
two.
not doing the Irish Camino. I'll do the Portuguese Camino for the northern.
All right. Oh, all right, who's,
If you can't, just stand up.
stand up.
just stand up? Yes. Just stand up. Yeah. All right, Joseph Harris.
This is sick. Progress report to make sure it all. Writing on paper. Discovery, those type of things. I can do it already.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset on Joseph Harris, please? All right, on November 17th, I'm going to expect the state to tender you an offer. Thank you for addressing appropriately for court. I appreciate that.
So much. My influence.
Okay, I can tell. All right, just get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson.
Oh, both those.
Probably used to be pretty slow on the day shifts. Is it still?
Oh. All right. Okay. All right, you're doing weekly UAs. So what we'll do is we'll start with UAs once every 3 weeks. And if there's no problem in 3 weeks, then we'll go to random UAs.
Well, I spread a whole bunch of rice seed and stuff so that my yard won't look completely disastrous through the winter, the way it has through the summer, when it looked like someone took a funny car to my yard.
Mr. Cox, on that one, if you can pull the B page, because otherwise it won't be in the system. Just go in the back and ask for a B page for him.
So again.
And where are we on the jurors? Are they all here? Two more? Joseph Acevedo. Joseph Acevedo. Who's the attorney for Joseph Acevedo? Mr. Acevedo, come forward.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Acevedo, what happened on your motion to revoke out of misdemeanor court?
Well, I got revoked, but I'm really good at giving Catholic card speeches, so I spent the shortest year in jail possible, but other than that, yes, it was revoked and done with the first DWI. And I'm
Okay.
Very minor position.
All right, so where are you staying?
I'm currently staying at 1835 Watchhill.
Well, no. I mean, who are you staying with? That's my fault.
Michael Barron, partner, and it's complicated type.
And when you say former partner, is this someone you used to date?
It's.
And I'm asking you,
Lost type thing. It's the actions of myself and as well as the circumstances throughout the last 2 years have turned the relationship rather sour.
all right, so do you have someplace else to stay?
Not realistically, no. I mean, I did, to show to the court, I did apply for an Oxford house, ironically yesterday. And so, but they rejected me mainly because of the situation, obviously going to court tomorrow. You understand how it can be sometimes. Obviously, it doesn't really make too much sense to go, hey, I'm going to an Oxford house, then, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to spending 5 years in the DC, but ultimately, I do for now, but should something arise, like let's say, like I explained to the person, it's okay if I do, I'm not trying to ransom necessarily, I would like to at least elaborate on the situation.
No, I appreciate your communicating with me.
But yes, thank you. As I explained to the person discussing financial situation, I'm effectively pulling an Anne Frank in the situation due to my record as well as the consequences of police.
What do you mean you're pulling an Anne Franks?
That means I'm not hiding effectively on police illegally. So they found me out. That's originally how I ended up homeless in the original situation. And while
All right, so let me ask you this. What about lifetime recovery?
Uh,
Have you tried there?
Funny anecdote, me and my father, when he was still alive, tried it in 2015, and then he saw me pull that, and then he realized, oh boy, that's gonna be fun for him, and he managed to put in $20,000 real quick for Bar Ridge, worked really well for 6 years up until the whole dying bit. But I have not.
Everyone, please whisper. Yes.
But it is something I'm looking to pursue. Ultimately, I mean, I could ask family members to see if they, oh, family, friends, there's not too much family left after that in a sense, but to see about something else, but it is something that I'm willing to pursue, though. I'm gonna have to play Rehab Prison Edition there, so.
What is Rehab Prison Edition?
Believe me, spend enough time behind bars, you tend to, I mean, granted, obviously it'd be very improper for a judge to spend much time behind there, but there's a lot more wheeling and dealing and a little more of undercurrents of convict justice that might go on in certain environments there. It's like street tough rules, you know, like I mean, to be fair, most people who do go to lifetime do have criminal records, including myself, so it's just more of a commentary, but let's move on from that. It's obviously I'm just engaging in trying to run around, but yeah, long story short, yeah, lifetime good.
All right, because here's the issue. You're telling me that you're living with someone. You're not supposed to be living there because you're not on the lease. And if you do, I'm assuming that the person who's living there may be evicted, which would mean you would be in a homeless situation. So is there an issue for you if the court were to order lifetime recovery? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm trying to figure out a place for you to stay.
I honestly do not know. That's what I was asking my probation officer for approximately 3 months until I ended up at Haven for Hope, was because I did have the finances and resources to, I went from about $4,000 of capital, which not much, but hey, it's something. I mean, you can do something with that in an
Yes.
apartment, to paying over $1,800 a month at a cheap motel. And I mean, it's not
So,
very much.
well, this is what we're going to do. Probation, he needs to find a place to stay. Obviously, he can't be staying at this apartment when he's not on the lease. And if he's found out to be there and not on the lease, the person he's staying with is going to get evicted. That's going to cause relationships problems. So if you can see if set him up and see if he can be interviewed for lifetime recovery, I will order lifetime recovery. And if that doesn't work, just see what else is available. All right, and obviously, he is not interested in Haven for Hope.
Well,
Yes,
if I may interject, it's not that I'm not interested in Haven for Hope, it's that throughout the short time that I've been on this probation, it just seems like a panacea. It's like all the problems, like it's the default solution to everything. Like, oh, well, you have housing problems, go to Haven for Hope.
well, we're
So,
starting you with lifetime recovery, okay?
I understand, but I am trying to pursue an Oxford house this time around. I probably did that first time around, but you know, being lost.
All right, if lifetime recovery doesn't accept him, see if Oxford House. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your patience, and sorry about the whole drug use. Kind of related. Anyway, I can only do so many half the part teaches my life. So thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Just do better, okay? All right, who is here on Arnold Levia or Leva?
I'm present, Judge.
All right, and where is your client?
He is here, Judge.
Come forward. Yes.
Just announcing the report that he did.
Oh, you do?
No, I'm asking.
No. What, Norma, I need a PTD date. All right, and my understanding is that you speak Spanish fluently.
I do, Your Honor.
All right, if you can let your client know that he's going to come back on November 17th and all the paperwork needs to have been filled out.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Edward Ugarte?
I am, Your Honor.
And where is Ugarte?
He is in custody.
No, because of this.
So, and I just got an offer. I'll schedule it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Ugarte, an offer has been tendered. Can this come back for a plea deadline date, either at the end of this month? Is that doable, or at the beginning of the next month?
End of the month.
All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
The 31st.
All right, so we'll be back on October 31st.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Norma, that is Ugarte. Who's here on just one minute. Patricia Pettis?
I am, Judge. We're ready on that.
Thank you. And we are still missing jurors. Court is calling 2022 CR 9288, State of Texas versus Patricia Pettis. Can our parties announce for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Andrew Fraley.
And are you Ms. Pettis?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Pettis, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Pettis, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Pettis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision, and there's $60 to DPS for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, are there any such motions? Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a top evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, MIC evaluation, DWI intervention, victim impact panel live, ignition interlock for half the term, or alternative for half the term, 2-year Texas driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No conflict.
State any evidence.
Yes, State Office Exhibit 1 in its attachments.
Ms. Pettis, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification. I'm sorry, Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Defense, do you have an exhibit to admit?
Yes, sir. We asked your defense exhibit 1, that is a written letter from her inpatient treatment providers. Since this offense occurred, Judge, she has successfully completed inpatient treatment for addiction. We would like to take into consideration.
Any objections to defense exhibit number 1?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, can you tell the court how long was she an inpatient?
Approximately a month. Your Honor.
Okay. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. There's a couple things. In terms of what the agreement was, my client was taken into custody on the, I want to say, 4th day of October, on Tuesday. So we've asked you to give her that credit for the 10 days since the 4th day of October. We believe that exceeds that number. As far as ignition interlock, Your Honor, we'd ask that be a portable alcohol monitoring device. So because she does not own or operate a motor vehicle, we have to be taken into consideration the fact that she did a month of inpatient treatment. Not saying she doesn't need more treatment, but we ask that you take that into consideration that she has taken the initiative. Finally, Your Honor, we ask you to follow the rules. Oh, one more thing. At this time, Judge, my client lives and resides in Kendall County, Texas. We believe that might be the best place to do this.
Are you employed? How you support yourself?
My husband has some business.
Do you have any children?
None, no,
Any grandchildren?
none.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $60 to DPS for testing, 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Ignition interlock for half the term. We've been down this road before. Her husband has a vehicle. He doesn't have a vehicle. It works. It doesn't work. But she is going to have ignition interlock on any vehicles at that home. VIP live, there's to be a MIC evaluation that can be done out of custody, DWI intervention, intensive outpatient treatment with probation, sober meetings 1 time per week. There's to be a transfer to Kendall County, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person. And you can either do 10 days in the Bexar County Jail, or she will be on GPS for 30 days. And that's full GPS for 30 days. Which would you prefer? No. Yes. All right, so there's to be full GPS for 30 days in lieu of the 10 days at the Bear County Jail. Yes.
Searching for employment for 30 days GPS, extend that time to search for employment.
That will be 30 days from the completion of GPS. All right, is there anything else that you need?
No.
Probation, is there anything else she needs? All right, and we'll do the TAP evaluation out of custody. If, all right, then add field visits, 1 time per month random. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. So you were driving intoxicated on Christmas. Sometimes when people are having their Christmas dinner, somebody always forgets something, like they forget the eggs to make the stuffing or whatever. That easily could have been a tragedy for some family. You understand? So obviously you can't stop drinking. So there's to be absolutely no driving, of course, while your license is suspended, because it's suspended for 2 years. And you need to make sure that you have that ignition interlock, and that's any vehicle at that home. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, the jurors are here. Okay.
Right.
Yes. All right.
I was looking at it.
All right, you're welcome. Yes. Are they here? John Coots. I'm gonna get all the. All right, thank you. All right, so everyone, you're gonna be brought back later today to do your plea. We're gonna bring the jury in, and that's where we are. So who is here on Laura Botello? All right, so Norma. Everyone come back at 1:30. All right. Miguel Nahara.
I just needed to recheck that.
Yes. Yes. Norma, see if they can plea an impact. Yes. All right, so we'll see. Thank you. Fingers crossed. Miguel Nahara.
Just to have Mr. Schmoder here, I'm with the notice to be tendering a special prosecution file. Side by side. So the-
Oh, we're coming back for jury trial on the 24th. For this case.
Those are 29.
The 29th? No, that needs to be moved. So we're gonna come, we'll talk about that with the other attorneys here.
Okay.
So that we can get this capital murder taken care of.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Show you.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, that is so true. Yeah, I did meet your wife at that. She's so awesome.
Judge, cases that there's no plea today. What do you? Normally we approach it for the reset.
All right, just talk to Ms. Ferguson. We're gonna call them back and I will give you your dates. All right. But where's, the problem is Cameron Sale was not here on. Okay. All right. So on Sale, why can't we do a plea today? Okay. Okay. All righty. Yes, 2 weeks. Everyone else? don't rush the court coordinator because we're bringing the jury in. So come back at 1:30. Don't rush the court coordinator. Come back at 1:30. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And Norma?
Yeah, that's what yeah. We don't.
Court is calling 2021 CR 8893, State of Texas versus Jessica Briones. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden, Brittany Mitchell, and Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense?
John Fowler, Your Honor, on behalf of Ms. Briones, she's present in the courtroom.
All right. Are both parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're still on the oath. You can bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, so I'm glad you all made it through the rain. So just so everyone knows, even though you all have been out, we've still been going on with docket. And of course, because we've still been going on with docket, that means that Brenda has still been taking everything down. So we are going to go for an hour in the morning. Then I'm going to give you your lunch break. And then we're going to come back at 2 to continue. All right. All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. Just for the record, I stopped last week at 14:08:59. I'm skipping ahead to 14:17:16.
Object to the cherry picking, Judge. We'd ask that the jury be allowed under rules 106 and 107 to, at this time, hear the entire video.
All right, that objection will be overruled and the court will note for the record that the exhibit is into evidence. State, you may proceed.
I have been scared, you know, and I saw something happen and I was scared and so, you know, especially when you go that time when you first did, it's not that involved and, you know, and it turned out it was nothing, she was okay. And then when I went to the that you didn't know something so serious was not with her. I do. I believe you that whatever it is that happened seemed like something that had happened to her before, and you didn't think that it was gonna turn out that way. I believe what you're telling me. Okay? But I think more happened to her that you're scared to tell me. And I don't think it was anything that hadn't happened in the past. Okay, I don't think it's anything that would have, in your mind, made you think you needed to go to the hospital immediately, okay? But I still don't think you told me the whole story about what went on. Okay, because right now, with the amount of injuries and old things the doctors have seen, she looks like an abused child. If you're the only person who takes care of her, yeah, there's a lot of things their exam found. And that's what the information I'm getting. Okay? So this is extremely serious. No, we never had anything. There's nothing that happened to her. And then all of those practices.
Every time we ever came on for another period. We're taken together, okay, 'cause we already went over. She got injuries on her both arms, got injuries on her abdomen, got injuries on her face, she got injuries on her feet, she got injuries on her feet, almost at the same time. Okay, these aren't like, she hurt her arm, and then 3 months later, she hurt her head. Okay, she had bruises all over her body. Her feet, her arm, her abdomen, her face, her head. I mean, she's injured all over. And they're probably children, but normally you don't get bruises on your abdomen very easily. I don't know how they do that. I have no idea how. I mean, I guess that she's never gotten any kind of any bruises on her body because she's so, you know, they're very common of bruises. It takes a lot of force to take a bruise there. So they'll, you know, your bones will be fine. But the reason I'm telling you this is because when you have this many injuries and it looks like abuse, and you're the only person who takes care of the child, that's a charge that's called injury to child. That's a felony charge. And the last one, the hair, from the same time, I've never had that week. To be honest, I'm honored that, you know, number one, period. Right, you don't make any sense, anything at all. Any kind of people. Or did it look like a normal room? No, it's yellow, and yellow, it's every after. After something that is monitor. And the group under nose and foot that I use. And those are the ways and one of them, you know, maybe my head, that's why I thought it's right now. And then I didn't, and I think the right way, you guys already on the right. And the one on the side, I didn't know what the sensitive, I figured, doctors, you know, they would have, know whatever it was, we're gonna get able to take care of it, and, you know, we can't. Well, like I said, with all these things taken into consideration, okay, together, and not having certain explanations, it looks like you're hiding something, and it looks like you hurt your child. I would never do anything to hurt her. I mean, even with all the years I had her, yes, she's got. Well, all the years you had her, you thought she was another doctor at 18 months. Yeah, because yet I'm the. No, I let it last, and I go through it, because she had that. Except for the past year, we moved because I didn't have the phone and the mail was going together address, but. Okay, but, I mean, there's plenty, you can make all the reasons you want, and you don't go to the doctor, but if she doesn't go to the doctor, and there's no history of any medical treatment aside from when she's injured, you take her in. You know, I don't have a record of what she's been like all that time. I can't tell you that you've been taking care of her regularly all that time, because you never took her to the doctor. And right now, you know, when she comes in now, she's underweight. You tell me that you know she's underweight, and you're afraid to take her to the doctor, because you don't want them to then take her away from you or do whatever you think they're gonna do because you're not taking care of her well enough. I can say the same thing, maybe you stopped taking her to the doctor at 18 months because she had injuries and you didn't want people to know. No, I mean, you don't, the only person you see is your mom, who maybe sees your daughter in the morning, maybe not, if she's up, if she's not up. You shouldn't see her that regularly. So, for all I know, you're seeing her on purpose and you don't want people to see her injuries. I didn't say I take her outside all the time. I mean, I just didn't take her to the. But I'm just saying, when you tell me to look at your history with her, I can't. I can look at 18 months and before. But the only thing I have after that is when you take her in for a major injury. I mean, I didn't know if I could take her where to check up in the clinic. I didn't know where else to take her. I don't want to take her back to that office. I didn't like those doctors. And they gave me a hard time last time he had. And you can have all the reasons for not taking to the doctor. Okay, you can have whatever reason. Okay, I understand life is hard and you can have all the reasons. But what I'm saying, what I'm telling you, is that I don't have a record to look and show that you've taken care of her so well for all this time. And all of a sudden now, just this one thing, I don't have that record. I can't look back and I can't say that. There's no history there. All I have is what's in front of me. And that's all the injuries you have. And without an explanation from where they came from, that's a logical explanation. That's why I said, if something accidentally happened and you told me about Sunday or putting her to bed, and you accidentally hit the deep spot in her head on the door frame, this is what I'm saying. If something accidentally happened, this is the time now. Because without an explanation, I have to believe that you're hiding something from us. That you're hiding something and you don't want us to know what you did to your child. I would protect her. I would right there. I had known. And you understand that's how it looks, is what I'm saying. Is that without any explanation of how she got injured like that, then I have to believe you just are hiding something. But I'm not. I don't know anything else that could happen to her. Well, what am I supposed to believe? Am I supposed to believe somebody who essentially has a reason to hide information from me? Or do I believe doctors who tell me that she has all these things going on, which is not normal for a 4-year-old to have? It's not normal for a 4-year-old to accidentally get. Well, you know, if I did something to my child and they ended up in this state, then yeah, I probably have something to hide. I'd probably be a little bit concerned. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I keep giving you the opportunity that if something else happens, now is the time. You're not going to get another time. You're not going to get another time to explain. This is the only opportunity you're going to get to explain it to me. Everything that happened, everything that I did, everything that I didn't do, you know, even things that I know I wasn't supposed to do, you know, by myself and not giving her enough food, you know, and trying to give me everything I know that I did wrong, or that I didn't do right, that could have made this happen, but I don't know what happened, you know, I don't know how all of that happened. Have the record, you know, for that. Right, late, but, you know, in every house, I need to take her and after she got injured, I know that that's not true. And the reason I know that that's not true is that you didn't know you had to take her to the doctor is because you're a smart person. You're an educated person. And all children go to the doctor on a regular basis because they need their vaccine, they need their shots, and they need their checkup. It's normal. When you went and took her the first 2 times, they told you that she was due whenever for her next step. That's normal. That happens with everybody. So I know it's not true that you didn't know. You knew she had to go to the doctor, you just didn't find the doctor for her. I had taken her since 18 months. Every year they go and get that when they're that young. Well, you didn't even work for 18 months. You told me to bring the paperwork in. You told me no. You said they didn't give you the vaccine. They gave her a flu shot. And when they gave her the flu shot, you didn't have the paperwork to show what vaccine she had already gotten. They said, bring it back in and we'll give her the shot. And you said they forgot to do that. They gave her the shot, and then write it on the record. It was like reading the paperwork next time, and when they corrected it, they did something about the paperwork and they didn't write it down. So it's not on there, and then I lost track of which one it was you didn't have. And I think she got another one that I can't remember. But I tried. The point being is, you know, at that age, they tell you, they recommend, okay, because they can't work. They could recommend that every year you bring your child in to the pediatrician, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't have told me that you wanted to find a doctor for her. Okay, so you knew, so don't tell me you didn't know. You knew, you just didn't have an opportunity to go do it, or you didn't have the time, or you couldn't find resources to do it, whatever the case is. But I know you knew, just like I know you know how to take care of a child, you've been doing it. You're not naive, okay? You're not stupid, none of that. I am, I didn't know anything I was doing. I mean, look what happened. Okay, new parents, I get it. Okay, new parents are all nervous about what they should and shouldn't be doing. But you did research. You looked up things. Okay? You know how to do that. You know how to get the information. You know how to do all the things you're saying you didn't do and you should have. You know how to do all of that. Okay? This isn't a question of whether you knew or not. Okay? I know you did. I mean, the doctor was only, even if you got a regular doctor, I would probably only take it when you was sick because honestly, you were gonna have to get someone if you started any kind of school. They get vaccines when they start school. What I put in pre-K, but after that, I didn't know they was eligible and I didn't. Right? You work? No, okay, so you don't work. You have to deal with her 24/7, which is the job in and of itself. Okay, don't get me wrong. But if you're not working, there's nothing preventing you from doing the things you said you were going to do and never got. Okay, if you needed a vaccine to go to school, there's nothing preventing you from doing research, when you went to the library or whatever, to get the information and get it done. It's not that you didn't think of it, because you're telling me, you obviously thought of it. You just didn't do it. It's a big difference. So what is going on in your world that you know you should be doing these things and you're not doing them? Tired all the time. Okay. So you're depressed. Did you ever think maybe you should go to the doctor? Did you? Not insurance. Okay. Clinic, anything? You know, I didn't know there any kind of counseling that I could have gone to. I know I want. And he was going to do us alone because I would get really so sick and so tired and weak sometimes. I thought one time I was in pain, severe pain the whole night. I thought I was going to die. And then, you know, I was worried what's going to happen to her. We'd be there by herself. And, you know, my mom was going to lose it. If I don't answer, she's probably going to go. So I didn't. I just didn't think I was interested in doing everything. What happened to your father? I just you know, not as, you know, that we go by as airmen, right, so hard to make that enough for her. And I mean, it's pretty good, I did pretty well, that she was healthy, happy, and she was smart. I mean, when she was eating after and I wasn't, that was always physically tired, but I read with her every day. She was all the way up. She was focused by memory, and I mean, I can see it. You're telling me that ever since what happened with the father happened, that you've not been the same. And then you're suffering from depression, or what you think is depression. And then on top of that, you're dealing with all by yourself, raising a child, okay, that wants your constant attention and everything else. Okay, children are not quiet. They want your constant attention, they demand it. That's what they do. Okay, they're kids. Okay.
For the record, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it at 14:36:07. Sergeant Barnes, do you continue talking to the defendant for a period of time after I stop the video?
Yes.
Objection, Judge. I'd ask on rules 106 and 107 that the jury be entitled to listen to the entire video at this time.
And Judge, I provided the timestamp. Again, defense counsel can play whatever they want.
But Judge, the rule entitles the jury to hear it at this time so that there's not a false impression left with the
The
jury.
court will overrule defense's objection. The court will note for the record that state's exhibit number 154 has been admitted into evidence.
Okay. Sergeant Barnes, what else did you discuss in the minutes left that you continue to talk to the defendant?
I continued discussing the same conversation we were having.
What happened after you interviewed the defendant? Was she arrested at that point?
She was not.
And why was that?
That was a voluntary interview. I already explained to her when she came into the office that we would give her and her mother a ride back to her mother's home where they were staying, and she was not going to be arrested and she would not be in custody.
What was the next step in your investigation?
Let me refer to my report. At that same time, her mother was being interviewed also. Her mother was receiving some crime victims benefits while we were in the office together. And after that, on a subsequent day, I reviewed all the material, including the findings from the doctors, and I obtained an arrest warrant for the defendant.
And what was the arrest warrant for?
The arrest warrant was for injury to a child causing serious bodily injury.
And why was it not murder?
At that time, we didn't have the autopsy findings back from the medical examiner's office. I only had Dr. Noret's information from the medical exam.
What was the next step in your investigation?
I reviewed the phone records. We downloaded the defendant's phone to see if there was any evidence on the phone records.
And I believe you stated this previously, but it's been a long weekend. Did you obtain a search warrant for the defendant's phone?
I did.
And what sort of information were you looking for in the phone?
I was looking for any information having to do with Olivia's behavior, how she walked, things like that. The defendant had said that she was unstable on her feet and she was clumsy. So I was trying to find any videos or photos that would show something like that. So I did find some videos of Olivia dancing and she appeared stable on her feet. She didn't appear clumsy. She appeared like a normal 4-year-old.
Was there anything else in your review that stood out to you?
I found a couple pictures of injuries, but I couldn't tell a timestamp on them. I didn't know who they were or what they were, to be specific as to a time or location of the event.
And when you say injuries, could you tell who the injuries were on? What person? Or were they just injuries?
No, I couldn't tell who they were on. They just showed the location of an injury.
What was the next step in your investigation?
I continued looking through all the material. I looked back at the body cameras for the officers who were there at the substation that day when Olivia was brought in. In the prior interviews that the Special Victims Unit detectives had interviewed the defendant at the hospital. And eventually, the defendant was arrested on the arrest warrant and she was brought back into the office and another interview was conducted for a custodial arrest interview.
And what date was that she was arrested?
On September 22nd.
And you said you interviewed her again that day?
I did.
Prior to interviewing her, did you advise her of any rights?
I did. During the interview, at the beginning, I advised her of her rights. I read them to her. She said she understood them and it's all recorded on the same disc.
And what are those rights that you advised her of?
The Miranda rights.
Did you advise her she's got the right to an attorney?
I did.
Right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything she says can be used against her?
Yes,
She has a right to have an attorney present before and during questioning?
I did.
Right to have an attorney appointed prior and during questioning?
Yes, ma'am.
Right to terminate the interview at any point in time?
Yes,
Did she indicate to you that she understood those rights?
she did.
And did she agree to give you a statement?
She agreed.
During that statement, did you coerce or threaten her in any way?
I did not.
Did you promise her anything in exchange for your statement?
No, I did not.
Did you deny her of any basic necessities?
No, I did not.
Was she under the influence of any drugs or alcohol as far as you could tell?
Not that I'm aware of.
Showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 155. Can you tell me what that is?
This is a recording of my interview.
And how do you know it's your interview?
I have my initials on this disc.
And you've watched it?
I have.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the conversation that you had with the defendant?
Yes, it
Does
is.
it appear to have been altered in any way?
No, it does not.
Judge, at this time, it offers States Exhibit 155 into evidence pending any objection from defense counsel.
Judge, I have no objection. I've seen the video.
All right, State's Exhibit number 155 is admitted without objection.
May I ask to publish to the jury?
Granted.
All right, I'm gonna skip ahead about 10 minutes in.
Objection, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled. This court will note for the record that State's Exhibit number 155 has been admitted into evidence without objection.
And I'd also ask Judge the jury be permitted under Rules 106 and 107 to see the entire video at this time.
All right, objection is overruled. The court will note for the record that State's Exhibit 155 has been admitted into evidence.
I'm starting the video at approximately 13:12.
Yes. Can we take the handcuffs off you? Okay. Just a room and give me your birthday again, please. Okay. All right, so we're back in here. You are currently under arrest. So there is a warrant for your arrest for injury to child. So right now, you're currently under arrest. You will be going to jail after we finish talking. Okay? So I'm gonna read you this before we start talking. Before you ask any questions, it is my duty as a police officer to advise you your rights and to warn you of the consequences of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to make any statement, oral or written, to anyone. Any statement that you make will be used in evidence against you in a court of law or at your trial. You have a right to have a lawyer present to advise you before and during any questioning by police officers or attorneys representing the state. You will have your own lawyer present, or if you're unable to employ a lawyer, the court will appoint a lawyer for you free of charge now or any other time. If you decide to talk with anyone, you can, and you can stop talking to them anytime you want. The above rights are continuing rights, which can be urged by you at any stage of proceedings. Do you understand these rights? Need a yes or no? Yes. Okay. What does that mean? What is what mean? That is a charge. It's injury to a child, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causing serious bodily injury. Basically, you're being charged because while in your care, custody, and control, your child ended up with multiple serious injuries, which ultimately led to her death. Doesn't seem like what? It's very real. Your child went in a hospital with injuries over multiple extremities on her body. Arms, legs, head, face. Yes, I'll get you.
All right, I'm stopping at 13:17:29. I'm gonna skip ahead about 10 more minutes.
Objection, Judge, and also request under rules 106 and 107 that the jury be permitted to watch the entire video at this time.
All right, that objection will be overruled. The court will note for the record that State's Exhibit number 155 has been admitted into evidence without objection.
I remember everything. There it is. There was like that stupid, I didn't know. If I had known that that was that serious, there's no way that I would have just left it. How was it? Look, it was broken. It didn't look like it got swollen, like when I smashed my foot, or when I smashed my finger.
How was it not bad enough? It was swollen for like a week. You said you did it on Wednesday or Thursday. Is it normal for you to have things that are swollen for that long and not be concerned there's another problem going on?
For me, yeah.
That's normal. You're gonna walk around with a swollen arm for a week and not think, maybe I should get this checked? This isn't normal?
I my foot, I mean, it wasn't broken. I know it wasn't broken. It was just fine, my foot too. It didn't, I mean, it hurt and it turned purple and it swelled up, but it didn't seem, I'm pretty sure it wasn't broken. I would never guess it was anything that serious. Or even anything like that. Things that because I know I didn't do anything. So there is no way except just when I picked her up. And then
You mean just when you picked her up?
this morning when she was throwing up, and I had to take her to home. She was still breathing. She was nothing wrong with her breathing. And after I picked her up to take her to the hospital, the doctor at the hospital, she started having trouble breathing, and that's when I panicked. I was at the bus stop and didn't know to stop someone and call and ask for help or get a ride to me to the hospital. But I needed someone to do CPR, or he needed CPR, and I thought the police could help. The police would know what to do. I thought I'd be in a statement about it. I didn't think about. I couldn't think. I was scared. I was running. He went from being okay. And all of a sudden, I don't know what was wrong with her. Just a few minutes, I was there, and she was fine, and then she wasn't. And I don't even know how. I don't know what happened to her because I was there. And I always checked her, I always watched her. I'm telling you everything I know, everything I can. I don't do anything intentionally. I wouldn't do anything. I know you think that I would get tired or she would get on my nerves. No, she was so.
You want to see Kristen? I'm gonna show you why I think that. He's right there.
either. That's why I don't believe you. She got injuries to her head, she got injuries to her abdomen, she got injuries to both arms, even her hand. That's why I don't believe you. You're gonna tell me she did that all to herself. Not to mention what's on her face that you can't see. That's one of the things. Yep, that's when she's in the hospital, fighting for her life. Now you're telling me, am I supposed to believe you don't know how she got all that stuff happen to her? I know. These aren't every little scar. These are major injuries she went to the hospital for. These aren't little scars that have healed up over time. You keep trying to tell me about these falls that have happened, months ago, years ago. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about current injuries. This is not a normal place for a kid to get hurt. The top of her head is not a normal place for a kid to get hurt. So what, you're always dropping things on her head? You're dropping on her head. Why can't you hold things? I'm something in my hands. I've never been able to. You're not that you can't hold things and you're washing dishes, trying to wash dishes over the floor and not over the sink. She was right there when I was cleaning them. Turned to look at her and then it was. Okay, how tall are you? 5'3". 5'3". How tall was she? Okay, so she came up to where on your body? To your waist? Okay, so you're telling me that a dish that you would drop from chest high to waist level would do enough damage to her head to scar her? That's what you're trying to tell me? No, I'm talking about scars. And we're not talking about little scratches anymore. Little scratches don't leave big scars. You're trying to tell me that you would drop a dish this distance onto her head and that would create a scar? From your chest to your waist, that distance, and it would scar her head. No, that happened up here. This is where I was. Okay, so that's fine. We'll say shoulder height. Still not a long distance for a dish to fall on her head to create a scar. Multiple scars on her head. Because at this point, I don't think you're dropping stuff on her head. I think you're hitting her in the head with something. Because there are scars on her head. Scars. More scars than grown people have on their scalps. I didn't hit her intentionally with anything. I never would. You're just dropping stuff on her head left and right. And she's just whacking her head on every surface left and right because she's so clumsy.
Sergeant Barnes, how did the defendant say Olivia got the scars on the top of her head?
She was dropping dishes on her head while she was washing them.
And as part of your investigation, you attended the autopsy and you've seen photos of her injuries as well.
Yes, I did.
Did you think her explanation was plausible based on your observations?
Objection of relevance, Judge. Whether this agent or officer thought.
Objection to relevance will be overruled. Is there any other objection?
That's the objection, Judge, just her, whether she found it plausible is irrelevant.
All right, objection to relevance will be overruled.
No, I did not find it plausible that the short distance plastic dishes fell on the child's head would have caused scarring.
And why is that?
Objection, Judge, again, relevance.
All right, that'll be overruled.
Because there were plastic dishes, they didn't break, and it was a short distance between where she was holding the dish and the top of her head.
Don't look like a clumsy kid to me. She looks like she had a hard time staying on her feet. But she had this very thing. Energy bag is that he was just, and then he was getting her energy bag. It was like he was more trying to get more food and that he was getting stronger again. So how do you explain the stolen other arm? You banged one in the door, how'd you get the other one? The other one was stolen. I didn't see it stolen. You didn't notice that the other one was stolen too? No. And you don't know how she gets a bruise on her abdomen. You don't know how she gets a bruise on her foot. You don't know how she gets a bruise and a swollen nose. And these are not normal things that a 4-year-old gets. Even if they're out, rambunctious, playing on the playground with other kids, this is not normal stuff that they get. We don't come talk to parents when kids have normal, everyday injuries. And now you're telling me you're dropping all this stuff on her head. Trauma and what to look out for because you're dropping stuff on her head?
She was hit her in the head. We was never anything, we really had these sharp stuff.
Just sharp stuff.
Things with it, and like,
So you drop sharp stuff on her head.
plate.
Plates aren't normally sharp. Are your plates sharp?
And
What kind of plates do you have?
hard. The top things that they don't break, but they're. I threw it away after that because I didn't want to drop it.
Did she start bleeding when you dropped it on her head? She did.
And it's Maple Road, I just cleaned it and it stopped bleeding. So the doctor said,
How many times did you drop something on her head and it started bleeding?
4 times.
3 or 4 times you dropped something on her head and it started bleeding.
But not as much as. But I think I guess we did it this way.
When you dropped the laptop on her head. What is that scar from?
That was the second one.
What do you mean the second one? That's the bicycle one. How long ago was that?
Wait, no, I opened up again and she just the door frame.
When did she hit the door frame? Couple weeks before what? How did she hit the door frame?
Over there, he was trying to get something, I don't remember what. I saw her bump her head up there, and then she had to move. She was bleeding to get a little bit.
So she hits the top part of her forehead on a door frame? That's what this is from?
That's what I'm putting in here.
Okay, that's what she hit.
I think that's the one that's on her forehead.
So this isn't from the bike. She just ran into the door frame and smacked her head on it.
No, she had that scar from the bicycle, but whenever she would, sometimes even the head would open up again, and I would get irritated. And it would just,
How long was the bicycle? I thought that was like a year ago. So you're telling me this thing hasn't healed properly for a year?
no, just a couple of times a year when she would fall, she'd scrape her head on the stairs or something, and it would open up there and she would scrape her.
How is she scraping her head there on the stairs?
When she would come up the stairs, she would stumble or I would stumble because she would come by and
Yeah, but how is she getting that part of her head on the stairs?
because she fell forward and she scraped her head at the end of the stairs and all.
You're telling me that she can hit that part of her head on the stairs and not mess up her face?
She just barely stuck it. I was holding her hand. So
Okay, but if you're falling flat on your face, your nose is hitting the ground first, not this top part of your head.
No, she just scraped the edge of the stair for the next step. That's why I just cleaned it up and it was okay.
That makes no sense.
She scraped the top of her head.
I hear what you're telling me. That makes no sense. How is she gonna hit the edge of this stair with that part of her head and not mess up the rest of her face?
Like this.
But the rest of the stair is there. The stairs are concrete.
Yeah, but the next stair.
You're gonna tell me that her hitting her head like that in the stair prevented her from falling all the way to the ground? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the other stair. I was holding her hand, just barely grazed the edge of her forehead. That's why she didn't fall anymore. I always hold her hand, but sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you the things you're, if I don't believe them, other people are not gonna believe what you're telling them. Well, I was there.
All right, I'm gonna stop right here.
All right, and
Timestamp.
just, and council, just 1 second. So everyone, we're going to take our noon break so that Brenna can get her short break. And we're going to come back at 2 o'clock because I have some cases in between that I have to take care of. So that'll give you a chance to have a nice leisurely lunch, and then we will come back. Remember what I said? Make sure your badges are displayed so that people will know that you are jurors. Do not discuss or deliberate with this case about anyone or with yourself. Do not do any research. Do not look at anything. Everything that you need to know about this case will come from inside the courtroom. Does everyone understand? All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Everyone, please rise for the jurors.
And just for the record, timestamp is 13:44:41. Say it again. 13:44:41.
Brenna, in case your computer needs to reboot or something, you'll get in on time.